Hey guys, this is WWE superstar Charlotte Flair, and you're listening to WellsMania Podcast. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 15 of WellsMania Podcast. I am your host, the Kyle Wells. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. Be sure to like me on Facebook at WellsMania. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at WellsMania, and I also do it on the Instagram at WellsMania. But while you're right here on YouTube, subscribe and run wild with WellsMania. And it's been since WrestleMania 35. That was the last time that yours truly did a wrestling podcast. And there's reason why I'm doing one right now. I took some time off, I'm a busy man, doing busy things. But the reason why I am motivated enough to do today's episode of WellsMania Podcast is because I'm not alone. Oh, no, I'm not alone. I'm actually joined in studio right now by the one, the only. He is my future brother-in-law. Shout out to my amazing girlfriend, Ashley Louise. He is the man known as the immortal Jackson Steele. He is Brandon Jackson. What's up? Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Brandon Jackson is my very special co-host. This is a brand new addition to the WellsMania Podcast because, let's face it, I couldn't do it alone. I had to have somebody in here with me to talk to.
You gotta have somebody to, ramp you up, man.
And you are the perfect person to do that, man. Thank you for being a part of the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And of course, I just want to give credit where credit is due. This is Rise Above It. I Prevail, the official entrance theme song of one Jackson Steele.
And you've heard it here first. Nobody else knows that.
Yes, and Brandon, let's give the WellsMania listeners a little background on exactly who you are and why you're here. Now, they know that you're Jackson Steele, but exactly who is Jackson Steele if they don't know?
Oh, Jackson Steele's immortal. That's his whole new thing. He has been working hard to come back. It was like 2 years ago almost now that he injured his knee. And since then, he has been training as hard as he can to come back to the wrestling ring. And right when he was about to come back, his promotion, known as Indianapolis Championship Wrestling, shut down. So, Jackson Steele's ready. He's out there.
So you're saying that Jackson Steele is a free agent on the indie wrestling scene?
He's waiting for somebody to pick him up, and he has his eyes on a specific promotion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dare to share?
Upstart.
Ooh.
He's looking at you, Upstart.
And speaking of Upstart Pro Wrestling, which, by the way, you can follow on Facebook at Upstart Pro Wrestling, yours truly made his live indie wrestling debut at the last Upstart show, Uprising. Mega Mondo. You know Mega Mondo. He's been a guest on the WellsMania Podcast before. I know I'm breaking kayfabe, Brandon, right here, but I am Mega Mondo.
Oh, God.
I know.
Jeez, you got me messed up there for a minute. You're telling me that this is like when Peter Parker tells somebody he's Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's like when Superman's revealed as Clark Kent, Batman's revealed as Bruce Wayne.
Kyle Wells has revealed his Mega Mondo.
Too damn mega. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because it's been a dream of mine to always perform in front of a live crowd in a wrestling ring. Well, I got to do that thanks to the fine folks at Upstart Pro Wrestling. And while I have this time, I'm going to thank my lovely and beautiful girlfriend, Ashley Louise, for being there, supporting me, and just accepting me in my dream of wrestling. She's the best. She's the absolute best. I can't say it enough. I love you, babe. Thank you so much. Also, I'd like to thank WWE's biggest fan, John Glick, and his dad for attending. They were there right there in the front row. My Smash Mouth WWT Wrestle With This brothers, Rick Payne, Peyton Payne, Jeremiah Jackson. They were also there in attendance. Thank you, bros, for the support. I appreciate that. And Stone Payne, don't think Megamondo didn't acknowledge your shenanigans, costing him the match against Colton Cage. But we'll handle that at another time. Megamondo, we'll see you soon, Stone Payne. Also, WellsMania #1 fan, Chris Haggerty, he was there. And Jared Giles, the WWE Human Encyclopedia, he was also there. So thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting your boy. And you can also continue your support because I found out that I, Megamondo, am going to be a part of their August 17th show, Retaliation. So after losing to Colton Cage, you know there's going to be some mega retaliation for whoever my opponent is on that card. So Christian Park Gym, English Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana, August 17th. Upstart Pro Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Like them on Facebook, and I hope to see you at the show, Retaliation. So I'm going to talk to Jeremy, who is their promoter, and I'm going to see if he's got a spot for one Jackson Steele. Now, something happened on SmackDown Live that really caught both of our attention, and it was from a former indie wrestler turned WWE superstar, one Kevin Owens. And Brandon, I think you've got some audio over there. Why don't you go ahead and play that right now?
Got the music. I got something to say. You know what? Last week I came out here and I spoke the truth about Dolph Ziggler, but it looks like tonight someone else needs to hear the truth, and that's Shane McMahon. Now I've sat back and tried to be a good guy, a good company guy, and not piss anyone off for too long, and I'm done with that because it doesn't get me anything. So you know what? A while ago I watched the entire McMahon family come out in this ring and say, hey, right now, from now on, we're going to listen to the fans and give the audience what they want. But the only thing that's happened since then is Shane McMahon has gotten more power, more authority, and more TV time than anyone. And trust me when I say that nobody watching ever wanted that.
Whew. Oh my God.
Whew, man, that's a lot to take in. And
Pow, he was shooting.
Let me just start off by saying, if he didn't say exactly what everybody is thinking, that is exactly what everybody is thinking.
Absolutely. And I tweeted this at WellsMania on Twitter. Feel free to follow. Kevin Owens is what everyone wanted CM Punk to be, and I'm here for it. Didn't that give you CM Punk vibes when he dropped the epic pipe bomb?
It did. It's kind of like they're trying to do a CM Punk kind of esque character, but they're doing it in a way where it's kind of more like Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. But this time, you got Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon.
Yeah, and I think Kevin Owens is the perfect person for this role. And I'm really glad that he's getting the opportunity to be in that prominent role as the Stone Cold-esque version.
If anybody could do it, it's Kevin Owens.
Absolutely. And that promo, man, when I was watching that live on SmackDown, I had goosebumps. And I was like, man, I don't care if it was scripted or not. It felt real.
It did.
And when wrestling feels real, it's amazing. And that's all we can ever ask for, is to be emotionally invested in what the WWE is throwing at us. And last night, Brandon, I was emotionally invested, and I was cheering on KO.
Kyle, you grew up in the Attitude Era.
I did.
I grew up in the PG era.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Both of us did not grow up in what is today's era, known as the reality era. I looked this up on the internet, and we are currently in what's called the reality era, in which everybody who's watching basically knows now this stuff isn't 100% real. I mean,
it's still real to me, damn it.
But it's all scripted. I mean, like the way I like to, as a professional wrestler myself, I like to say it's kind of like a choreographed dance when you're in the ring. very athletic and painful, albeit one.
Those bumps, you can't fake that.
No, but the thing with Kevin Owens is he's bringing us back into what it used to be like to watch WWE. You know, when I was a kid and I watched WWE, I'm like, oh, these guys hate each other. Kids nowadays, they're like, oh, they don't really hate each other. They're just acting that way. And it sucks. It takes kind of the electricity out of the audience. And Kevin Owens is bringing that back. He's making it believable. That's what we want more of in the WWE, and that's what we need to see.
I agree. And earlier I mentioned that I broke kayfabe, which is really what you see a lot nowadays. But back in the day, wrestlers stayed in character even when they weren't on TV.
That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why we have the reality era. There's no such thing as kayfabe anymore.
And I absolutely love in today's society, with social media absolutely dominating, that we can still be surprised in 2019.
Oh yeah.
And I was not expecting Kevin Owens to do what he did last night. So, like I said, I was emotionally invested in it, and man, I'm all here for it. And I can't wait to see, Brandon, where it goes next.
I agree, and I think there's only two other guys in the WWE who can make it as believable as Kevin Owens does, and that's Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Those two guys are hot on the mic, and Bully Ray said it best on his podcast. He said that these guys are getting scripts nowadays, and they don't have a free mic like they used to back in, like, say, the Attitude Era. But these guys know how to work with the scripts. Guys like Dean Ambrose.
Jon Moxley now.
In
AEW, which, by the way, I know I've got some WellsMania listeners out there who want me to touch on AEW. And I know who you are, Big Papi JD Roach. And I'll get to you right after Brandon's done finishing his point. Continue, my brother.
I was going to say, guys like him have a hard time staying on the script because they're a lot more they flow better when they don't have a script. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I got a lot of respect for Jon Moxley. I'm just saying some people can work with the script they're given, other guys can't. And these three guys I mentioned can work the script really well.
I agree. I agree tremendously. And when you have that it factor to your promo game, it makes your character more likable. And Brandon, it makes your character look that much more better on TV.
Absolutely.
Now, I went to WellsMania Twitter, at WellsMania on the Twitter. I plugged my Twitter handle a lot because I try to get new followers throughout the... I never know where somebody's tuning in to the episode, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't start at the very beginning and just go from beginning to the end, but I've had a couple people skip around, which, okay. If you're listening, you're listening, but...
However they want to do it, I mean...
I always find that very odd, people's podcast listening methods, but to each their own. Like you said, if they're listening, they're listening. I tweeted this out. I said, recording a brand new episode of WellsMania Podcast tonight with a very special guest co-host at BrandonMan24YT. That's you, Brandon. On Twitter, follow him at BrandonMan24YT. Do it right now. We will be talking about the current state of the WWE, which we've tackled with Kevin Owens. And we're also going to touch on Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. We'll get to that here in just a second, too. And, of course, we'll break down Extreme Rules. But I always lob this out there because I like interaction with my fans, with the listeners of the podcast. If you have any questions you want answered, fire away. Nobody fired any questions our way.
Dang it.
I know. I was really looking forward to that.
I was bunkered down and ready for them to start firing, too.
And dude, Chris Haggerty, if he's listening, he always is the one that supplies like 20 questions. So I just, answer all of his questions. So I always appreciate Chris. He was
Where you at, Chris Haggerty?
He was the 2018 Wells Maniac of the Year, Chris Haggerty. I love Chris. Good dude. But my friend, one of my really good friends, JD Roach, at Poppy Roach 24, he actually responded to that tweet. He said, rumor has it you will be having a half-hour discussion on AEW.
Ooh, where do you hear that rumor from?
I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and...
Man, you know what? Who it was? It was Dave Meltzer. That son of a...
Dave Meltzer, that son of a bitch.
Holy balls.
Ooh, gotta censor that one out.
Oh, we will censor that. Listen, I'm going to kill the rumor right now. We'll give it 30 seconds, not 30 minutes.
AEW.
First of all, I'll let you take this one, Brandon. You seem to be a little bit more excited for this new promotion, AEW. I'm still a little hesitant. I respect other wrestling companies outside of the WWE, but man, I am WWE, WWF when I was a kid, and WWE now as an adult to the day that I die. But what's your take on AEW?
There's a lot of hype. A lot of hype that they got to live up to. They delivered it. They delivered it, and they went over, above, and beyond at Double or Nothing. I did not watch Fyter Fest. I've heard a lot about it. I saw that really nasty chair shot that Cody Rhodes took to the head. Bless
Respect.
the guy. But yeah, I think AEW is going to give WWE great competition. I think social media nowadays is a really powerful tool, and they're using it. And more or so, they got that show on TNT starting in October.
Ran by Ted Turner.
I don't think there's a specific date where they're starting, but I know it's in October. I'm excited to see what they do with it because they've got Chris Jericho in there, one of my second favorite wrestler of all time.
The Ayatollah of rock and roller, baby!
He is one of the most talented men in professional wrestling in the history of history. You also got Kenny Omega in there. You've got Cody Rhodes. You've got
Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin Rhodes, he's in there as well. I mean, you got a lot of people. Now you got Jon Moxley, and there are rumors, and I'm just going to say it because people are always thinking it, that CM Punk may or may not show up.
I tell you what, you know you are still making an impact in wrestling when you've quit after, 7 years now, and the crowd is still chanting your name?
I think it's only been like 5, but it feels like 17.
Feels like forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, I am always willing to give new wrestling promotions a chance. Now, I might be a little hesitant at first. That's just because my loyalty lies with Vince McMahon. Ha ha!
Holy balls!
Pal. Censor that too. Here I am telling Brandon before the show, hey, try to keep it really clean, and I've already dropped 2 non-friendly FCC words. But you won't know that because they'll be censored out.
Man, the FCC won't let me be.
They won't let me be me, so let me be. There we go. WellsMania, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, that's another thing too.
Enzo
Amore.
I read that beef today.
And touching with Joey Janela and the whole AEW vibe, man. Enzo, man, he's keeping himself relevant on the Twitter and starting beef with Joey Janela, who's supposedly the bad boy of professional wrestling. I don't really know much about him, but I know a lot about Enzo Amore. Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing? Certified G.
Now, he is keeping himself relevant, but they were at a Blink-182 concert. Let me mind you, they never started throwing hands, but they both acted like it, and some sources say that Joey backed away first. Some sources say that Enzo backed away first. All I know, at the end of the day, I'm an Enzo fan. How you doing?
And it's funny you said Blink-182. I only got to play this for about 15 seconds before copyright infringements. All right, there we go. Yeah, you're getting into a fight at a Blink-182 concert. It makes me feel like it's a work. It really does. And that's the problem with today's society is I think everything's a work, man. I never know what exactly
very well could be
is real because let's face it, the Montreal screw job, a lot of people out there think that was real. Not me. I think it was a work. I know.
Oh, no.
I know. And if
that was real.
Listen, I have done so much research on this topic. You know what, Brandon? Let's save that for another episode of WellsMania when we can tackle some unsolved mysteries in professional wrestling. I guess we are kind of giving AEW more than the 30 seconds that I said. So you're welcome, Big Papi JD Roach. I'm going to give AEW a chance. I am. I know I might be a little hard on, that's what she said, on AEW, but when it comes on TNT, I will tune in, and I was there to watch the Monday Night Wars between WWF and WCW. So this is kind of giving today's fans a modern day Monday Night War, WWE versus AEW. And I'm all about competition, and especially if it makes the product better. And Brandon, speaking of making the product better, we touched on this earlier. Paul Heyman was hired on as the new executive director of Monday Night Raw. And of course, Eric Bischoff was hired on as the new executive director of SmackDown. And of course, SmackDown will be moving to Fox here in a few months. So what were you telling me? Who's Vince McMahon wanting to sit front row? at the debut show on SmackDown?
Oh, Donald Trump.
WWE Hall of Famer, one president, Donald J.
Could you
Trump.
imagine? I mean, it's one thing that he was Donald Trump back in the day, but now he's the president of the
Right.
United States.
Yeah. I mean, I was there in Detroit at WrestleMania 23 when Donald Trump shaved Vince McMahon's head. I was there live to witness that.
Oh,
and
that's classic.
It was, oh my gosh, this is before people really, really hated Donald Trump. But man, everybody was cheering for Donald Trump. I don't know if he'll get the same reaction as President Trump. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for WWE Hall of Famer President Trump being there because, you know, Trump equals ratings. And if you're going to have the president of the United States of America sitting front row at your show, oh yeah, people are going to tune in.
That would be interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, back in the pre-2008, didn't they have Obama?
Yes, they had Barack Obama on the big screen on the Jumbo Titantron. He was addressing the WWE universe for the tribute to the troops. So, yes, technically President Obama was there on the big screen, but he actually wasn't there in person, which, by the way, I don't think a actual president has ever been at a live WWE event before. Now, I know back in the day they had a Bill Clinton impersonator. Bill Clinton.
I remember that.
Fake Bill Clinton. They've had, fake Hillary Clinton, who never was president and never will be president.
Nope.
But yes, if President Trump actually is sitting there front row when SmackDown makes its debut on Fox, get your popcorn ready because that is going to be a sight to see. You got some, we were talking about Paul Heyman here. You've got some really good audio that I want you to play. This is Paul Heyman. How long ago was this?
This was not even a month ago, I think. I don't know. But let's play it and let's hear what he has to say about being the new writer.
The role of the general manager is played out. I don't want to do it because it's been going on for 20 years, and whether you're the hero general manager or the villain general manager, it's enough. I don't know how many people really turn on WWE or any form of sports entertainment to see how a match is made. The show has become too much of, here's the story behind the show that you're watching. And I think sometimes people just want to see the show. I think people just want to understand who the characters are and see the characters pitted against each other in compelling situations or riveting storylines that have nothing to do with the corporate structure that orders the match because the general manager needs to sign the contract. It's too much. Again, it goes back to simplicity. It goes back to, well, we've never seen Brock Lesnar lose to one move. Wow, so wouldn't it be shocking if you did? And it goes back to that.
Pretty compelling audio right there.
He brings really good points. Who turns on Monday Night Raw and gets excited that Shane McMahon is standing in the middle of the ring about to make a freaking triple threat
or a 2 out of 3 falls match?
Oh my God, man.
By the way,
they were in love.
This episode of WellsMania is a 2 out of 3 falls between Jackson Steele and Mega Mondo.
Ring the bell. But man, they were in love with triple threats. Now they're in love with 2 out of 3 falls. Teddy Long was in love with
holla, 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 player.
Holla, 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 player. Let's make this a tag team match.
Right.
Oh man, I love Teddy Long, but come on. But the thing is, back to my point, who turns on the TV and gets excited? The GM is out there getting ready to talk. Only time I was excited about a GM was when Kurt Angle was the GM. But even then, Kurt Angle was like this. Not Kurt Angle.
Right.
Kurt Angle's going to kick your ass if you come up to him and start talking to him like he's little.
Yeah.
But this Kurt Angle sat there like a kicked puppy. And we're so tired of seeing this stupid GM spot. Mick Foley is not a good GM. Stephanie McMahon's not a good GM. We should never really see the McMahons on TV unless it's absolutely necessary. Am I wrong or am I right?
To a degree, you are. I think that Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon, and well, we don't ever see Linda McMahon anymore because she's, in government and politics, but if they strategically place themselves in a storyline get in and then get out. Don't let it drag on, because I know too many times that the McMahons have let storylines drag on and on and on and on, and you're like, where's this going? You know?
They don't have a good balance. They either create storylines out of thin air, and the next week at the main event it's happening, and it's like, where did this storyline come from? Or they drag one on way too long, and you see the same match over and over again.
You want a WellsMania hot take right now regarding Shane McMahon?
What?
So this whole best in the world that he keeps throwing out there, I have a theory that the reason why he always has ring announcer Greg Hamilton, or whoever the ring announcer is, really emphasize best in the world, it's because I think secretly CM Punk is in talks. You want to talk about AEW CM Punk? Sure, that's fine.
I wish.
But I think that CM Punk is going to surprise everybody and shock the world and come back on the contract that, let's say, like Brock Lesnar has, or John Cena has, or, because he went away for those reasons.
I wish, but that's not going to happen.
And now he's
Kyle.
Now he's going to come back and get that Dave Bautista contract where he gets paid millions of dollars to only make a couple of appearances. That's exactly what CM Punk wanted in the first place, and that's why he quit, because he wasn't getting what all these part-timers were getting. And now that he's a part-timer coming back, it all makes way too much sense, and there's a reason to Shane McMahon's best in the world madness. It's because I think possibly at SummerSlam, CM Punk might be coming back to challenge one Shane McMahon for best in the world. I know, it's crazy. Tweet at WellsMania. Let me know what you think. You are listening to episode 15 of WellsMania podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe. I got Brandon Man 24YT on Twitter. Brandon Jackson is in studio with me, my special guest co-host, which I love this, by the way.
D Greasy's here too, man.
Oh, no. I don't think my listeners are ready for D Greasy. No. And quite frankly, I don't think we have enough censors for D Greasy's potty mouth.
You'd have to have a censor on cue ready to press at every other button. D Greasy is a guy on my YouTube channel. I'm going to do a shameless plug right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, plug your YouTube, because your YouTube, man, is brilliant.
YouTube.com/Brandon Man 24, BRANDON MAN 24. You know what, Kyle?
What?
From June 30th of 2019 until June 29th of 2020, I will be able to say Brandon Man 24 describes me. My name is Brandon. I'm a man, and I'm 24 years old, baby!
I love when a plan comes together. How long have you been waiting for this moment?
I made my YouTube in November of 2008.
Okay, wow. So you are what we call in the wrestling business a vet.
A vet.
You are a ring
I'm a YouTube vet.
And so do that right now. Obviously, when you're done listening to this episode of WellsMania. But go subscribe to Brandon's YouTube channel. Also, you got any other social media that you want to plug?
I mean, other than my YouTube and my Twitter, I'm barely ever on Twitter. I'm always doing stuff on my YouTube. I do have something in the making right now.
Oh.
I'll give you a little sneak peek. It's called Rise of the Skull. You heard it here first, folks.
And if you want to know what that means, you're just going to go have to subscribe to Brandon's YouTube. Are you ready to break down Extreme Rules?
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. This, the official Extreme Rules pay-per-view theme song, When I'm Gone by Dirt Honey. And Extreme Rules takes place this Sunday in Philadelphia.
Can I just say something about this song real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
They give me a Buck Cherry vibe. You hear it?
I do. I can hear a little Buck Cherry.
I like it. Just wanted to say that.
Hey, I like it. I like a good Buck Cherry reference on the WellsMania podcast. This Sunday live at the Wells Fargo Center, WWE presents Extreme Rules.
Where only one match is going to actually be Extreme Rules.
Yeah, about that.
You gon' miss me when I'm gone.
Woo! We are live downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, where
oh my God,
looks like a storm is about to come in.
Dude, I got PTSD from storms. I drove through a tornado about a month ago.
I saw that on your Facebook. That video, I know you probably shouldn't be doing that in a tornado, but I'm really glad that you went all Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt and tried to capture that twister on the video. Now, we do have a Extreme Rules card in front of us, and I'm just going to go from bottom to the top. So let's start off with the tag team match for the Raw tag team titles. The champions, The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, no flips, just fists, versus the Usos. Brandon, are you feeling this match?
No.
No? Why not? Why not?
The tag team division needs a reconstruction. It needs a facelift. It needs motivation. It needs energy. Who are these people?
Well, the Usos are 6-time WWE tag team
we
champions.
We know who the Usos are, but who are these people?
Well, let me tell you, the Revival are a modern-day brain busters.
Yeah. That's what they say, but we watch them sit here
Blanchard
and shave each other
and
in the showers. Come on, that's what I'm trying to get at here. Is they make the tag team division a joke. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Usos when I say who are these people. This is solely writing's fault, and hopefully something that Paul Heyman's going to fix.
And I think Paul Heyman will, because one thing about Paul Heyman is he loves giving deserving talent opportunities, and the Revival are a very deserving tag team that are the champs after all. After Sunday, they're not going to be, because my prediction, Brandon, is the Usos are going to defeat the Revival to become 7-time WWE Tag Team Champions, because I've been down since day one-ish.
And I think so too. And they've been working on it for a while. Usos have been playing with the Revival. Unfortunately, they don't give the Revival what they deserve. Blah, blah, blah. We know. Nobody that watches WWE doesn't understand that. Let's go to the next one.
The next match is a last man standing match between Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. And Brandon, I absolutely have been loving this feud between Braun and Bobby. It started out with the arm wrestling contest, tug of war contest, some really cool backstage, parking lot brawls, and then that epic start to Monday Night Raw when Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley crashed through the Titantron. Too much explosions, not enough explosions.
Too much pyro.
By the way, Corey Graves dropped a holy balls. I'll bleep that out on USA Network, which is a huge FCC no. You can't say that word on the air, but he did.
Well,
which
you can if you're not PG.
True, which was very extreme. So, who do you like winning this match? And is it going to be an extreme last man standing match?
It's going to be Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is going to run in there. He is going to rip Bobby Lashley in half. Braun Strowman's about to freaking murder this dude. You know, when Bobby Lashley cuts a promo and basically says he's going to kill Braun Strowman, the reverse is going to happen. Braun Strowman, whenever he comes back from an injury, he comes back at 110%.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think Braun Strowman, out of these two guys, I think he needs the win more. So I think that he's actually going to get this win. And, man, can we give Braun Strowman a monster push into the main event? WWE Universal title picture?
Why is it every time he does get that push, then it's like gone out of nowhere?
Well, I know he hasn't been having luck with staying healthy. I know he's been getting hurt a lot, but hopefully he can stay healthy and finally get that push that he deserves. How about the WWE United States title? It's on the line in a singles match. The champion Ricochet, who is by far not human, taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. And by the way, you're wearing an AJ Styles. Are you hinting that that's who you think's going to win this match?
Yeah, and I really like heel AJ Styles.
He's a heel.
Some people are born for a specific role. AJ Styles is born as a heel. When he turned face, he started to go stale. That's a problem WWE has, is a lot of people go stale because they're not in the spot that they need to be. AJ Styles is with the Good Brothers.
Good brothers.
Good brothers.
Brother. And quite frankly, I agree with you. I think AJ Styles is going to win this match, defeating Ricochet to become the new United States champion. I absolutely agree with you. I love heel AJ Styles. And if you follow WellsMania on Twitter, at WellsMania on Twitter, I teased this a couple weeks ago when I said, man, I really wish that the WWE would reunite AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows and give us a actually serious stable of the club. And that's what we're getting, because I think Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are going to help AJ Styles heel-like shenanigans win this match. And also, you ready for this? Not only will AJ have the United States title, but I think Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows will beat the Usos the following night on Monday Night Raw to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions.
It's a bold prediction.
Bold prediction right here on Wells Mania. How about the knock at the door? Were you expecting it to be Cesaro?
Let me tell you, I was disappointed.
Who did you want it to be?
I wanted it to be Bray Wyatt.
We all did.
Aleister Black versus The Fiend? Dude.
That would be awesome.
A battle of the darkness, man.
Yeah.
And where is he then? Because where else is he going to pop up? I saw some stupid prediction about him mixed tagging with Nikki, and I hope to God that doesn't happen.
Nikki Cross, right?
Yeah, but let's get back to...
this is Aleister Black versus Cesaro.
Cesaro. I love Cesaro. I love Aleister. Them two, that was just real random to me. When I saw Cesaro sit down, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And when it gets down to who I think is going to win, it's going to be Aleister Black.
Okay.
Cesaro is already crushing through the competition, and he's got nothing to prove. Aleister Black has everything to prove. He's been talking week after week how nobody's man enough to pick a fight with Aleister Black. So he has to win this thing.
And I have nicknamed Aleister Black the Richard Marx of wrestling. I'll be right here waiting for you. You'll have to look up that song. It's a little before your time. Right Here Waiting for You by Richard Marx.
Yeah, I don't know that. I know. I've been waiting.
Say, that's a whole...
For a wrestler like you.
That's a whole different song. But you know what? I am actually going to disagree with you because of this theory that I have. Sure, we all wanted Bray Wyatt to knock on the door, which was very obvious that we thought that's what was going to happen. But I think he's going to interfere in this match. Costing Aleister Black the match. Cesaro will capitalize and get the win. And also, I've been doing some digging, and Paul Heyman is high on Cesaro, wanting to give him a nice push. So I think Cesaro is going to win this match, and then we're going to get the Aleister Black-Bray Wyatt feud that we have been clamoring for. The next match on the card is a triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles. Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, and Rowan are the champs. They will put their titles on the line against It's a New Day. Yes, it is. Big E and Xavier Woods versus Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker. And Brandon, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker.
It usually takes me a while to warm up to a new tag team, but they're coming out of the gates hot.
They're coming, as Otis always says. I'm coming.
And
that's what she said.
If they don't win this thing, I'll be surprised, because we've seen New Day have the SmackDown titles a lot. We've seen it. I mean, we've only seen it once with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. Can we talk for a moment about how the New Day poked fun at Eric Rowan and his daddy issues?
Oh, yeah. Rowan was not having any of that.
That was so funny. I liked it because it's true. He's always been some guy's henchman.
Right. Yeah, and listen, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, two of the most talented big men that never really were utilized to their full potential.
I was a big fan of the Bludgeon Brothers.
Absolutely.
When they were coming back, I loved everything about them. I loved their look. I loved their songs. The only thing that they could have done better is the rubber mallets.
Yeah.
Obviously, rubber, when they drop them on the floor, they bounce.
Yeah. Come on, prop department, do a better job there. But love
that's such good
Holy balls!
good
Holy balls!
Wow, ha ha. More censors. I really do like the pairing, though, of Daniel Bryan and Rowan. I think they balance and complement each other. But I'm going to go with Heavy Machinery. That's who you picked, right?
Yeah.
I think Otis and Tucker, they were so close at the last pay-per-view. Stomping grounds. So I think that Otis and Tucker are finally going to rise up to the occasion here at Extreme Rules and become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The next match, we're going to break it down, is a Cruiserweight Championship match. The champion is Drew Gulak, and he defends his title against Tony Nese. Do you like 205 Live?
I don't even follow it.
Do you even know who these guys are?
I know who they are.
Okay.
But do I care is the question.
Do you care?
So who's the champion right now?
The champion is Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak. Isn't he like the political dude?
He was. Yeah, he was all about the no flying in 205 Live.
See, that's how much I know about it. Tony Nese, he's getting it back.
Tony Nese retaining the title, according to Brandon Jackson. And you know what? I'm actually going to go with Drew Gulak. I think he's going to retain. He just became the champ not too long ago. So I've got Drew Gulak retaining the Cruiserweight title. The next match is for the WWE SmackDown Women's title. Bayley, the champ, versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in a handicap match. And if I know you, Brandon, you're going to pick your crush, Alexa Bliss, to win this match. Am I right or am I wrong?
Alexa Bliss is going to win it, and then Alexa Bliss is going to she's going to get full of herself, get rough with Nikki, and Necky's gonna play. And she's gonna turn on Alexa Bliss, setting up Alexa versus Nikki Cross, or the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Well, I agree with you. I think that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are going to win. There's a lot of rumors and innuendos and speculations that Sasha Banks is going to help Bayley. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Sasha Banks is done. And I'm cool with that. I'm okay with Sasha Banks being done.
I'm a huge Sasha Banks hater.
She's just not nice.
Nope.
I usually have a lot of good interactions with the wrestlers when I meet them, but Sasha Banks was kind of rude to me, and I was nothing but nice to her, So
she threw a fit that she lost her championship.
Yeah. And the fact is, in wrestling, it's not about winning or losing. It's about entertaining the fans. That's really what it boils down to. And if you have an ego so big that you worry about wins and losses, well, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to be disappointed because you got to lose.
She was one of the top women's wrestlers, and she threw a fit thinking that she wasn't getting enough. So, whatever. See ya, and I hope you don't come back.
Yeah, I agree with you. But in this handicap match, I also agree with you that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are going to win, becoming the first ever co-SmackDown Women's Champions. And, of course, I think Alexa is going to turn on Nikki, setting up that feud heading on down the road.
Now, could you see this? Alexa turns face on Nikki. So for that to happen, Nikki would actually have to go after Alexa. So Alexa's like, oh my God, you're my friend. I won the championship. And Nikki's like, I want that championship. And she turns heel on Alexa.
Okay.
Now we have face Alexa.
Which would be weird because I love heel Alexa Bliss.
I think that's the only, like I was saying earlier, how some people are born into a specific role.
Right.
I think that's the only way Alexa Bliss could work. But they've tried others before that actually ended up working really well in the other role. So give Alexa a chance,
I sure will. Face Alexa. I'll give it a shot if that's what it boils down to. The next match is for the WWE Championship. The champion is Kofi Kingston, and he's going up against Samoa Joe. Kofi Kingston, man, he won the title at WrestleMania back in April, and he is having a really good run as the WWE champion. I've been enjoying the reign of Kofi Kingston. What about you?
I have too. I've always been a Kofi Kingston fan. I stopped watching WWE in about 2011, and I didn't pick it back up until 2016. And in that time frame, Kofi joined the New Day. So when I started watching again, I'm like, who's this New Day? So Kofi went from a Jamaican guy to some like goofy dude in rainbow outfit. But I told Rachel, I'm like, I'm upset that they did Kofi like this because
The power of positivity.
He used to be so badass. I remember his feud with Randy Orton back in 2009, I think it was. And oh my God.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing this all up is Kofi has what it takes. Samoa Joe is not the one to take that championship from Kofi. Kofi's retaining.
I agree with you, and I really have an idea of where we're going with Kofi in the title run.
I think I know what you're going to say.
And I actually, if you follow WellsMania on Twitter, which if you're not by now, what the hell are you waiting for? Hit that follow button. Come on, don't be afraid. I think that there's going to be a New Day split up. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. They have had a great run as one of the most dominant stables in wrestling history. However, I think it's coming to an end, and we're going to get a triple threat match for the WWE title at SummerSlam.
Ooh, a triple threat?
Yeah, it's going to be Kofi Kingston, the champ, versus Big E versus Xavier Woods for the WWE title at SummerSlam. That's my bold prediction. So that's why I think that Kofi Kingston is going to retain the title from here until SummerSlam, where I think Big E will get the win and get that WWE title reign that I've been clamoring for Big E to have for the longest time. Anybody who knows me knows that I want Big E to be WWE champ more than I probably want John Cena to get the 17th reign as champion.
And he never got that.
And not yet. Yet is the key word there. So as far as Extreme Rules goes, Samoa Joe is a very serious threat, but Kofi Kingston will do what Kofi Kingston does best, and he will overcome that serious threat and retain the WWE title. The next match on the card. I don't know about you, Brandon, but I still get goosebumps every time I hear the gong.
You mark.
And I still get goosebumps every time the lights turn out. And I still get goosebumps every time the dead man rises and walks ever so slowly, taking about 15 minutes walking down that
His
aisle.
music makes me want to use the restroom.
The Undertaker. The Undertaker teaming up with the big dog, Roman Reigns, in a no-holds-bar tag team match versus Shane McMahon, the best in the world, and his tag team partner, Drew McIntyre. Now, I'm so glad that The Undertaker is getting a chance to redeem himself from that awful match against Goldberg at WWE Super
I'm glad
Showdown.
he's not dead.
True. I'm glad the dead man is not dead. But man, that is the only reason why I can think The Undertaker is back on such short notice, is to redeem himself. And tagging with the big dog Roman Reigns is a perfect scenario for The Undertaker. You can let Roman get in there and take all the heavy bumps, do all the long cardio, and then Undertaker makes the hot tag, gets in there, do his vintage Undertaker stuff, a tombstone, bada boom, bada bam. Undertaker and Roman Reigns win this match. Is that what you see happening? Because that's the direction that I'm heading.
Yeah, that's how it's going to happen. They need to get Drew McIntyre far away from Shane McMahon. They are burying this dude.
No pun intended.
They really are, though.
With The Undertaker burying
They're
his
burying
opponents.
him with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon has turned him into a henchman. I mean, he's the freaking Scottish psychopath. What kind of psychopath takes orders from Shane McMahon?
Yeah. I think WWE is trying to tease us with a potential Sting run-in during this match, setting up an Undertaker versus Sting feud that I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. With the whole Sting Undertaker promo that they tweeted out a couple days ago. I got goosebumps because I have been wanting that dream match to come true, and the opportunity was there at WrestleMania 31. And what happened? The Undertaker took on Bray Wyatt, and Sting took on Triple H. Okay, I didn't want that, but that's what we got.
You know what
Whatever.
you're going to get? You're going to get another Undertaker versus Goldberg.
No. That match should rest in peace right there.
Some people, some vintage wrestlers should rest in peace. And I hate to break it to you, but Undertaker's one of them. He's not in his golden years anymore. He can get in the ring and get the job done.
At this point in the Undertaker's career, it's all about ratings. He still gets that pop, and it's nostalgia. You know, listen, The Undertaker probably should have retired when his streak ended, but that's neither here nor there. By the way, Brock Lesnar shouldn't have been the one to end the streak, but that's neither here nor there neither. We'll save that for another episode of WellsMania. Who should have been the one to break The Undertaker's streak? That's a good topic right there.
Yeah, it is. That should go with the controversial.
Yep, we'll do that. We'll save that. How about the next episode of WellsMania? There's our topics right there.
Perfect.
So, in this match, I got The Undertaker and Roman Reigns defeating Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. That takes us to the main event. It's a last chance winners take all mixed tag team Extreme Rules match for the WWE Universal title and the Raw Women's title. Of course, Seth Rollins is the Universal champ, and his girlfriend, Becky Lynch, is the Raw Women's champ, and they are going up against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Are you digging the Rollins and Becky Lynch relationship? Are you liking it?
Well, let me ask this. Why am I the least excited for the main event? That's not supposed to happen. But no, I'm not really digging them on TV. They're awkward on TV.
Yeah, it is kind of cringe-worthy at time. If you want to see true love, it's your sister and me. That's true love. That's what a relationship should look like, not only on Facebook, but in person. I had to give a shout out to my lovely girlfriend, Ashley Louise.
Toot. Who's tooting his own horn.
Who, by the way, is the most amazing girlfriend in the world. And she just might be on a future episode of WellsMania podcast. I'm going to try to get her on.
Ooh. Wait a minute. Triple threat in WellsMania?
Yeah. We're going to do a little crossover. How's that?
That's awesome.
On the next episode of WellsMania, you're getting a triple threat edition
reunion
of WellsMania podcast. But as far as this match goes, Brandon, I can see where you're coming from, not being excited just because of all the forced cringeworthiness that this relationship has. And then really Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Baron Corbin as the Universal Champion, but I don't think we're going to get it in this scenario. We're going to get a happily ever after finish to this Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are going to retain their respected titles. Is that what you have?
Yeah, that's what I have. I don't think anybody thinks that Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans are going to win this. If they do, WWE's done worse. That'd be stupid. But no, I don't think they're going to win. I think it's Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Of course, though, Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans are going to pull some stuff that we haven't seen. But I don't know. I think it's going to be Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at the end of the day.
And just like that, there are Brandon and WellsMania's predictions for this Sunday's pay-per-view Extreme Rules. And Brandon, we're going to close out this episode of WellsMania with this theme song. It's just for you. Because if we're talking about extreme,
the Extreme Enigma,
we got to be talking about the most extreme tag team of all time.
Team Extreme.
The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. And I really enjoyed this episode of WellsMania. Thank you for being a special guest co-host, which, by the way, you'll be back on the next episode and many, many episodes after that.
Until I die, brother.
Which hopefully isn't for a very, very long time. Where can people find you on social media again and plug that YouTube channel?
Twitter, BrandonMan24YT. And YouTube, BrandonMan24.
And follow WellsMania on Twitter at WellsMania. Let us know what you thought about this episode, episode 15 of WellsMania Podcast. Also, like me on Facebook at WellsMania. Like me on Instagram at WellsMania. And of course, subscribe to the channel, WellsMania. Everybody out there, enjoy WWE Extreme Rules. Until next episode, take care and dominate the day. You know, Brandon, I totally forgot to tell our listeners about what we were going to talk about on the upcoming episode of WellsMania podcast, the episode 16. So, I mean, if they're listening right now, they'll know. But if they're not listening right now, then they won't even know that we were talking right now and that I forgot in the first place.
I was going to say, if they're listening right now, then they can enter promo code Jackson Steel.
Call the hotline, 1-800-JACKSON-STEEL.
And if they're listening right now, if they enter promo code Jackson Steel in the comment section of this video, they will get a shout out in the next episode.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. So on the next episode of WellsMania podcast, we kind of teased it throughout this episode, but usually I like to go home with what's coming up next so that way people can know exactly what they're getting when they tune into the next episode of WellsMania podcast. So we're going to talk about some controversial moments in pro wrestling history, kind of some indie wrestling scene. So
yes, they're popping up everywhere around Indianapolis.
Yeah, and we're going to get some local indie wrestlers on the WellsMania podcast to promote local wrestling shows around the Indianapolis area. Now, when I say indie, that's short for independent, but it also is short for Indianapolis. So I know a lot of people get confused out there.
So you could say indie wrestling.
Correct. Indie independent wrestling. That's Indianapolis independent wrestling. We're going to get some local superstars on besides your favorites, Megamondo and Jackson Steel. Maybe get some guys from Wrestle With This. I know that I talked to Payne about possibly doing a Wrestle With WellsMania, kind of like a cross promotion for Wrestle With This and WellsMania, which we've done on this podcast before. It's time to wrestle with this, and then Tom Sawyer by Rush plays. But we're going to have just local wrestlers on to talk about local shows in the area. So if you know of any local wrestlers, tweet at WellsMania, let me know, and I'll get in contact with them. I also teased about having my girlfriend, your sister, on the episode. She is comedic gold. Anything she does is successful. So having her on the podcast will definitely boost ratings. And like you said, a triple threat reunion. By the way, you go on Brandon's YouTube page and watch all the triple threat videos, which currently are in hiatus, but we will come back. We promise that. I had some flaws in my contract. That's why we've been on hiatus, but I think I've got those worked out.
Here it is right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Triple Threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about that, you just got to tune in to the next episode of WellsMania podcast, which thank you all so much for listening. This is about an hour long. So
they're all going to be.
You're welcome.
You got two people in here having a good time.
A damn good time.
It ain't going to be no damn 15-minute podcast.
No, it will not be. So tweet at WellsMania. Let me know what you like about the new vibe of the podcast, and hopefully you'll tune into the next episode. All right, we got to go. We got to go now. We're out of time.
I'm out of here. See ya.
Word to your mother.